What's up guys, my name is Anna and hi, hello, welcome. This is my first impressions video on Need for Speed Unbound. I've played the game roughly for about 5 to 6 hours and this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'll only be talking about some very light topics about the game, but nothing really covering the story all that much. And one thing I want to mention real quick is that I am not playing the Palace version. This is the vanilla game, have you say, and without, that being said, welcome to the video and let's get into it. So far, I really like the game. The story, for what it's worth, the story feels kind of very recycled with Heat's story. Once again, you create your own character and then you're introduced to these two other characters, and then one owns a garage and the other sort of follows you around in the story. And the objective is win street races, earn money, and collect the cars, and watch out for the cops because they mean serious business this time. It's like they just wanted to play it safe, and I don't mind that because the last thing I want is a repeat of Payback's story. What the hell that even was. Now the gameplay, I have a lot of positives to say about. I will mention right now that it does feel like they just copied the physics and controls from Need for Speed Heat, but they perfected it. The controls feel very responsive and reliable, and not like in Heat whenever you make a turn or wiggle left and right, there is like an awkward, unexplainable delay, but here your movement feels very instant. You can drift whenever you want, and I feel like your car no longer has to be built very heavily towards a certain playstyle. Again, you can tune your car to either be grip built, drift built, road built, or off-road built. But in Heat, for example, a very road built car has absolutely no chance of drifting. You can also tune the handling and steering sensitivity, and I have mine set at high steering sensitivity, and maybe I happen to have it set perfectly to my liking. I do like a more responsive, twitchier car. Another gameplay feature you have to orientate your driving style around to is doing certain actions increases the boost your nitro can deliver to you. So you'll be wanting to try and draft a car, for instance, and then blaze by them with a boost. In terms of police chases and pursuit chases, if you get a quick encounter with a cop, nothing really happens and it's too easy. But as soon as like a cop Corvette starts chasing you, then you need to come up with a creative way to evade them, and this is just because I'm playing the game with a car that has a pretty low performance level. Most of the events you play are again just you do a street race against people. Sometimes you need to take a street racer to like a certain destination because they have a high heat level, or you deliver a car somewhere, and I think I ran into an elimination event at some point, but I don't remember. Next I'll talk about the performance of the game. I was afraid I wasn't going to have a PC to run the game well on, but the game has functioned nothing but perfectly so far. The load times are almost instant when you're in the game, and for instance, you'll be in your garage and then it will take little to no time to spawn into the overworld. And also, the transition from the daytime world into the nighttime world looks really neat. I usually don't comment that much about audio in Need for Speed games because all I hope for is that the engine sounds are just great. But everything in this game to do with audio sounds great in my opinion. Now, I don't personally listen to like the hip-hop, rap type of music this game has, but it does fit the theme of this game fantastically, and I wouldn't change it if that makes any sense. It feels like the music complements the game further on the entire street racer scene and how like a modern imitation of that would look like. Next up, I'll talk about the elephant in the room, I think. The graphics. So I think this is also a very big strong suit of the game. We've come to expect that the overall graphical presentation of recent Need for Speed games have gone above far and beyond what we idolize Need for Speed games to look like. I think so, at least, but okay, to me the game looks fine and there are like a ton of settings about how preferably you want the game to look like, but I have it set to how I like it and yeah, it's fine. And yeah, the characters. So in this game they decided to go with a more cartoonish look for every player model, but the quality of the player models still look very good, and no, don't worry, it never gets to the point of how the characters look in Need for Speed Nitro. Then I wanted to talk about the overall world, which ties in neatly with my previous segment on how I talked about the graphics. The world feels great to drive in, and there are so many things to do. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just fun to drive around and not really do anything other than just play around and drive. Now, I have my graphics set to that sometimes driving towards like a very tall building, you'll see that building in the distance, and then you can noticeably see it pop into a better rendered graphical form of that building, but other than that, the world never feels annoying to drive on. And so if you drive on a ledge onto a bunch of rocks, then you'll crash on top of those rocks, but you keep going until you make it onto like a solid patch of ground again. You won't respawn in the middle of the rocks, as in it's not some out of bounds area that you could have driven on. Then I tapped a little into the online world of the game, but this is similar to Need for Speed Heat from what I've experienced so far. You enter the online mode and then you can set goals for yourself to achieve in order to unlock vehicles. And when you drive around the overworld, there will be other people doing stuff, and whenever someone enters an event, you can choose to join it or ignore it. And yeah, I guess my thoughts and feelings. This game has turned out to be so much better than I expected it to be. I haven't finished it yet, but I feel like I've only completed about 5% of the game, so I hope there is still a lot more content for me to consume. I mean, I really hope so, and I have really enjoyed my time playing the game so far. And that being said, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching my video. For what my opinions and thoughts and feelings about the game were worth. I don't know, let me know your experience with the game. So far I've really enjoyed it, and well, maybe you like it as well, maybe you hate it, maybe you're utterly heartbroken. You can't believe this is what the next Need for Speed turned out to be, and now we have to wait 3 more years for the next one to come out. I don't know, let me know. Thank you for watching, and get yourself subscribed, because there's gonna be more videos coming soon, and yeah, see ya, goodbye.